Hello everyone, welcome to the When It Worked podcast. You're the host, Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by Deborah Coviello, Ruth van Vierzen, and Josh Fuhr. Is that correct? Fuhr? Okay. I was so stressed out getting set up that I forgot to practice everyone's names, but I'm going to accept my first attempt there. All right, gang, let's load up the board for today. The categories today are the military, the Olympics, menagerie, which is animals, Europe, foreign words, and potpourri, which is a mixed bag. Deb on the left, you can kick things off. What would you like?
Oh, Europe for 100, please.
Europe for 100. Neighbour of Greece, whose national anthem is Hey Sloveni, meaning Hey Slavs. And I'll accept anything that's kind of older because these questions were probably in the 80s and a few of the countries might have changed their names, so I won't be too strict on this one. Neighbour of Greece.
Slovenia.
Sounds good to me. Is
Slovenia for 100.
It's Yugoslavia. Yeah, I knew they were going to do that. The old Yugoslavia, which is... was Slovenia involved in Yugoslavia? Or was it was like Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia?
I probably got a C in social studies. So
does anyone know?
I think it was.
You think it was? Yeah, all right, let's give it. Deb, well done, Deb. C has been upgraded to a B. What would you like next?
Oh, foreign words for 100, please.
Foreign words for 100. Many Spanish language newspapers are named La Prensa, which means this.
The news.
The news. Anybody else want to have a guess, just in case? You won't get penalized.
The press?
The press?
The press?
Yeah, I don't have a better guess than those two.
The press is correct. I had a feeling. I don't know why.
Ding, ding, ding.
We do speak Spanish in my house a little bit. Well done. You got that one right there. What would you like? You're in control now, Ruth.
I will take the Olympics for 100.
The Olympics for 100. This competition is divided into springboard and platform events.
What is diving?
Diving is correct. Well done, Ruth. What would you like?
I'll do the Olympics for 200.
Olympics for 200. Ekaterina Sasbo led this country's women's gymnastics team to the gold in the 1984 Games. What country?
What is Russia?
It's a pretty good guess. It is actually Romania we were looking for. They were very good at Olympics, at the gymnastics. Ruth, you're still in control.
Oh, even though I didn't get it right?
Yes, you are, yes. Until somebody else gets it. That's the way we do it.
Okay. Okay. I will try menagerie for 100.
Menagerie for 100. As adults, these Lepidoptera are harmless, but the caterpillars love to feast on your clothes. And your mum might have had little balls in the cupboard to stop this.
What are moths?
Moths is correct. My mum used to have mothballs, and when I was a little tiny baby, I ate one of them, and I had to go to hospital. And I still, to this day, have never seen any clothing eaten by moths, so I don't know why we even had them in the first place. Anyway, Ruth, what would you like?
I'll try potpourri for 100.
Potpourri for 100. COD stamped on a package stands for this.
What is cash on delivery?
Cash on delivery is correct. Well done. Now, everybody else, you can holler out if you know the answer as well. I know you're being very polite so far. Ruth, what would you like?
Potpourri for 200.
Potpourri 200. Keeping the bells comes from early practice of a sailor having to turn this over every 30 minutes. Keeping the bells comes from the early practice of a sailor having to turn this over every 30 minutes? What did they
What is the
turn
rudder?
over? What was
What is
that?
the rudder?
The rudder.
What is the rudder?
We're looking for an hourglass. So back in the old days, they would have an hourglass, I think, to... don't think I'd want to get on the boat if that's all they had. Ruth, you're still in control.
I'll do the Olympics for 300.
The Olympics 300 competition whose events include team 3-day event and individual jumping.
What is track and field? Maybe? What is track and field?
Track and field.
What is
Oop.
triathlon?
Triathlon. Yeah, it's what might be one of those ones where they do lots of things.
What is equestrian?
Equestrian, says Josh. It
Ooh.
is horseback riding. Equestrian. Josh has nailed it. Hello, Josh. 300 points. You're in control.
All right, let's go with the Olympics 400.
The Olympics 400. Number of the Olympiad whose games will be held in the summer of were held in the summer of 1988.
What is 20th?
What is the
20th. And can you remember where it was held?
I was 2 at the time, so maybe Los Angeles?
That was close. I think that was the one before. Anyone else?
I just said, what is the 23rd?
Yeah, okay. Well, 23rd. And who said 23rd first of all? Was it Josh or
I did.
you did, Deb?
I said
Okay.
20th.
Oh, okay, right. All right. Let's take a look. We've got the 23rd. Deb, well done.
It was a swag.
That was incredible. How did you know that? And it was Seoul, by the way, I think, in Korea.
Okay.
What would you
Okay.
like, Deb?
I'd love foreign words for 200, please.
Foreign words for 200. Waist-length jacket that might aptly be worn to dance in Spain. Also the name of a movie starring Bo Derek, which I would have stayed up late to watch.
What is 10?
I probably did for that one as well, but
What is a bolero?
Bolero is correct. Well done, Ruth.
I worked in fashion for a while.
There you go. Little tiny waistcoat, like a kind of bullfighter's jacket, I think. I think that's
Yeah.
what it is, yeah. What would you like, Ruth?
Potpourri for 300.
Potpourri for 300. Number of months that do not have 31 days.
Shoot, I'm just going to say 7. I'm not sure. 7?
5?
7,
What is
5?
5, and 6. I think it says 5. Let me just say 5. Was that Ruth? No, that was Deb, was it?
Deb, what is 5?
Deb nailed it. Deb, you're doing some of the hard ones. Very good. You should go on the real Jeopardy. What would you like?
What is foreign words for 300?
Foreign words for 300. In India, she was the wife of a Maharaja.
Sadida. What is Sadida?
Sarita. Now, there was a famous spy that was, a love spy, so-called, from India that I remember. I'm not sure if it's this person. Let's take a look anyway. Yeah, it's this one here. It's the Maharani. The Maharani, which is just basically the female version of Maharaja. I don't know if that's the one I was thinking of. Anyway, continuing on.
What is Europe for 200?
Europe for 200. Denmark's was inspired by a king's version of a white cross in a red sky during battle. Somebody's nodding their head. Ruth is nodding her head.
What is a shield?
Ruth?
What is a
I
flag?
was going to see what is their flag? But yeah.
Now, I'm so conflicted here because Ruth knew this answer and just didn't get it out in time. And then
Yeah.
our man in the
I
middle,
think Josh said flag
Josh
as well.
got
yeah.
it out. He just, boom, flag. He got it. So I'm going to have to give it to you, Josh.
All right, let's go military for 100.
Military for 100. It's said the reason there weren't more World War II kamikazes was the shortage of these.
What are airplanes?
Airplanes. is correct. Well done, Josh. What would you like?
Let's stay on the military for 200.
The military for 200. 973 dress white garrison caps were tossed in the air at this Hudson River site May 28, 1986.
What is West Point?
I was going to say that.
West
Yep.
Point. Great answer, which is the school. Lots of famous people went through there. Well done, Josh. You got it correct.
Let's go the Olympics for 500.
The Olympics for 500. Number of oars used by one crew in the rowing event which uses the most oars.
What is 10?
What is 5?
The answer we're looking for is 8.
Josh got it. He's closer.
Well, no, I'm going to be stingy about this. Nobody got it. Josh, you're still in control.
Let's do Europe for 300.
Europe for 300. This London Museum's famed Chamber of Horrors gives you the creeps by showing you the creeps.
What is the Tower of London?
The Tower of London. I regret that I never got to go there. Oh, I'm going to give it to you because this says Madame Tussauds, but there is literally a Chamber of Horrors in the Tower of London, and they were advertising it when I was there. Has anybody know about that?
I don't recall seeing it, but I had visited there. I may have missed it.
Yeah, I missed it, but they I'm giving it to you, Josh. There you go. You're in control. What would you like?
Let's do potpourri for 400.
Potpourri for 400. This expression comes from medieval custom of placing lips on signature after signing a document. Sealed with a
Kiss.
kiss is what we've got going on here. That is correct. Well done, Deb. You're on 1,200
You
points.
kind of led me.
You're in
led
the
me
lead.
on, but
I led you
okay.
on. 1,200 points versus 1,100 versus 800. Anybody could win it. Deb, you're in control.
Okay. What is menagerie for 200, please?
Menagerie for 200. Though its voice is shrill, this small monkey's name is derived from the Old French marmouser, to murmur. Oh, those little
What is the
tiny-
mouse monkey? I don't know.
Anybody? Is these cute little
what this-
tiny monkeys with the big eyes?
No.
Nobody's got it.
Can't think of the name.
It's a marmoset. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it in Singapore. You're in control still, Josh.
Let's do the military for 300.
Military for 300. British soldiers do this with their palms out rather than down.
What is salute?
Salute. It's got to be. Salute is correct. Well done, Josh. You're in control. What would you like?
Military for 400.
Military for 400. Here comes Josh. It's reported that a U.S. military officer carrying the football is always with this man.
What is the president?
The president
What is the wingman?
is correct. And I have never heard of this expression. What does it mean, carrying the
Wow.
football?
The nuclear football, the codes for
Oh,
nuclear
yeah.
launch.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That's a bit scary, particularly at the moment. When I was a little kid, I was so scared about nuclear war. And who knows? Anyway, Josh, what would you like?
Let's do the military for 500.
Military for 500. Country which by far suffered the most casualties in World War II. It's changed its name. Clue
What is Russia or Soviet Union?
is correct. Well done. Josh, you're doing very well. You're on 2,300. You've streaked ahead of Deb on 1,200. And Ruth's on 800, still within reach. Josh, what would you like?
Let's do foreign words for 400.
Foreign words for 400. In English, it's only a hoax, while in French, it's also a duck. What would I call a duck? Hoax,
Oh,
duck.
Maynard. Maynard, no.
Yeah. Something. Let's take a look. Nobody knows. The answer is Arcanard. I don't think I've heard that one. You were going to say Mandrake or something, weren't you, Jeb? Was that
like
right?
Maynard. I thought like a Maynard might be duck in French, but I'm not sure.
Maynard, okay. Anyway, Josh, what would you like?
Foreign for 500.
Foreign for 500. When someone in the Middle East asks for baksheesh, this is what they want. Nobody knows this one. They want a tip or a bribe or a handout. So maybe if you get pulled over by the police in Afghanistan, that's what they want. But if you are committing driving offences in Afghanistan, you've got bigger problems. Josh, what would you like?
Menagerie for 300.
Menagerie for 300. It said ancient Romans not only ate these eels, but fed their disobedient slaves to them. What type of eels? I don't even know. There are types of eels.
And what are electric eels?
That's a good way to... Moray eels are the ones from the ocean. Yuck. Josh, what would you like?
I'll stick with Menagerie for 400.
Menagerie 400 of the musk ox, musk deer, or musk turtle, the one that secretes the musk used in perfume. Ox, deer, or turtle. There's also a musk rat, but not surprisingly, they don't use that in perfume. Ox, deer, or turtle? Have a guess.
Let's go with what is turtle.
Turtle.
I was going to say musk ox, but
Well, the answer is musk deer.
Oh.
Does anybody still wear musk in perfume? It sounds a bit disgusting to me. I don't even like it in candy. All right, Josh.
Let's stick with Menagerie for 500.
Menagerie for 500. These sled dogs were named for these Eskimos who it's said first bred them. Sled dogs. What do we call the sled dogs? The type of dog that's used in sled dogs. It's got to be that. Also a name for like sports equipment and BMXs from Walmart.
I got it.
You got it? What is it, Deb?
Like, what is husky?
Husky. That's what I've told you to say. It's something else. Malamutes. I'm sorry. Would you have got that if I hadn't have steered you in the wrong direction? Probably not.
Nope.
Okay, I feel better. All right, Josh, we've got 3 left. What would you like?
Europe for 400.
Europe for 400. To the ancient Greeks, this solid landmark on the Spanish coast was one of the pillars of Hercules. To the ancient Greeks, solid landmark on the Spanish coast was one of the pillars of Hercules.
What is the Straits of Gibraltar?
The Straits.
I was gonna say
Yeah, the Rock of
gonna say that.
Gibraltar. The Rock of Gibraltar is correct, but Straits of Gibraltar is close enough. I'm going to give it to you, Josh. What would you like?
Let's go with Europe for 500.
Europe for 500. Capital city where you'll find Luxembourg Palace next to the Luxembourg Gardens. What's the capital of Luxembourg? Luxembourg. Luxembourg. It's the smallest country.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been there.
You've been there?
I'm gonna just guess Luxembourg City because like
Luxembourg
Singapore
City.
is.
It's actually the Luxembourg Palace and the Luxembourg Gardens are in Paris, according to Alex Trebek. Last question. Though it's been around since the 20s, many ignore this device that protects sterility when opening a Band-Aid. This is a hard question. It's 500 as well. Though it's been around since the 20s, many ignore this device that protects sterility when opening A Band-Aid.
What is the wrapper?
The wrapper.
Yeah, like the plastic. Oh, yeah. Okay.
The answer is the little
gonna say
red string.
Oh, I remember that.
If you
Do
say.
they even? I don't know.
They used to have a red string
Yeah, they
to
did.
open it
I
up
do-
versus kind of peeling it apart.
I do remember that, and now I think they don't have them anymore. Anyway, that's the end of the game. Well played, everyone. We've got Deb on 1,200, Josh on 2,700, and Ruth on 800. Josh, that was incredible. You really, up through the middle there, you were getting all sorts of questions, correct? Well done. And because you came first, we're going to talk to you and learn about what you've been up to, Josh. Now, what have you been doing?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I started day trading and been through that journey over the last couple of years, and just started a newsletter promoting some expert stock picks called the Portfolio Consultant. So I help people that are want to learn about investing, find out what technical analysis is and how they can increase their returns in their portfolio.
Interesting. And there's been a lot of interesting things happening at the moment. What are you talking about in your newsletter about all of this mayhem on the stock market?
Yeah, there's tons of opportunity. There's lots of mayhem, like you said, and it's a great buying opportunity. But the next couple of years are going to require you to find the right stocks instead of just kind of blindly buying some of the big names out there. So I think the market's going to go kind of sideways for a few years. But underneath
4
that,
years, you reckon?
The next couple of years, yeah. Not politically motivated, but I think it's just the way the market's structured. It's going to kind of chop sideways for a little bit.
And what are some of the things people should be getting into when things are so volatile? What types of investments on the stock market would you recommend?
Yeah, we really like some of the overseas investments right now. A lot of the Chinese companies are at a great discount. Also bonds, tickers like TLT. Once they start cutting interest rates, those are going to do really well.
What's TLT?
It's a bond index. So it's basically tied to the Federal Reserve rate. So as the reserve rate comes down, then that index will go up. So that's something that we are expecting here in the second half of the year.
And I'm very interested that you said Chinese stocks because, my immediate response was, oh my God, that sounds like a bad idea. But then Warren Buffett would always talk about things like this when everybody else is the most scared of something. It's where the opportunities are. What are some of the Chinese stocks that are on the on Wall Street that you can buy?
Yeah, one of my favorites for this year is NIO. The symbol is NIO, and they're an electric car company out of China. They basically only sell cars within China right now, but they've got this really cool battery swap technology. And China's middle class is growing. Like you said, all those stocks are on sale. People are scared of them. The price is down, and that's the best time to buy.
100%. And also on the back of that, I believe that Tesla is finished, kaput, and the next thing, everybody wants electric cars down here anyway, and they're buying Chinese ones. So we've got these ones called BYD that are everywhere. Do you have those in the States?
I don't think we have them. BYD is a great car. If you own the stock, I think it's a great stock to stay in. I just think now it's not a great time to buy it because the price is already pretty high.
Yeah.
So those people that own it, I'd stay in it for a while because it's got some more upside.
That one's already kind of bolted, and but interesting.
Yeah.
Look, you said there's one called NIO that is only selling in China, and they've been quietly building and getting stronger. And if that's available on the stock market, that does sound like an incredibly good idea. Does the tariffs affect Chinese stocks? They don't, do they? Just in terms of it could affect the price movement, but
yeah, they've been beaten down the last couple of months,
yeah.
and that's why they're on sale. So as soon as that gets resolved, the sky's the limit for those.
Interesting. And how long have you been putting out this newsletter, Josh?
The newsletter's been around since the beginning of the year.
Excellent. These are great. I'm on lots of newsletters, and they are a great way to consume information, and you kind of look forward to it, and you find things that are not out there much on blogs. Well, maybe they are, but you would never find them, and you can get all sorts of great information. And so you've got the newsletter, and do you also help people? Are you like a stockbroker, or do you run courses for people? How else do you help?
Yeah, I'm in the process of building a course, recording the videos for a course, and also do sit down for one-on-one consultations with people that are interested in that, helping take a look at their portfolio, what to sell, where to move some money into. So that's something that a couple people have reached out to me to help them with.
Excellent. Well, that's very interesting. So probably the first thing to do is get on Josh's newsletter, start to have a look at what he's talking about, and people can reach out to you, can they, and have a chat to you, Josh?
Yep, there's a way to reach out directly on the newsletter if you want to learn more.
Interesting. Yes, you have to get on the newsletter if you want any more info. So put that email in there, and the newsletter is called what?
Portfolioconsultant.substack.com. And if you add a /podcast 30 to that, we've got a discount going for 30% off any of our premium features.
Oh, okay, excellent. Well, the URL is in the show notes. Just remember that discount code podcast 30, and just save that somewhere, and you can have a look at what Josh is offering. Thanks, Josh, for coming on and talking to us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Wonderful. All right, let's pop over to Deborah. Deborah, what have you been up to, Deborah?
Well, I'm on a journey to figuring out how to grow my business. But what I do now is I am a consultant, but I call myself the drop-in CEO. I usually drop into businesses that are at a place of transformation, loss of leadership, loss of customers, where they're just trying to grow bigger to serve their customers. So I do partner with C-suite leaders, elevate them, solve the business issue, and ultimately help them to get to peace of mind, which is really something that I think we should focus on versus results. But I also podcast. I am trying to launch more speaking opportunities. I'm grateful for Podmatch for bringing us together, author of a book, and also a mom of 3 adult children, a curler, and now living in the Midwest of Cincinnati. So that's me in a nutshell. Happy to answer more.
Goodness me, there was a lot of things there. And I tell you what I like your little handle, the drop-in CEO, because that's extremely memorable, and it tells me a little bit about what you do. So you prefer to see people in person, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I leverage the Zoom platform to make connections with people. I find that it doesn't have to always be in person upon first meeting with people. Having great lighting, having great video, and really deeply listening to people and showing you've heard them. You're almost like reaching through the virtual world to say, I understand you, and I think I can bring you to a better place. But always better to meet people in person, to absorb that body energy, start to resonate, and really see the temperature in the room. Are they anxious? Are they in chaos? And how can I lower the temperature there? So yeah, I visit all my clients in person at some point or another, but certainly technology allows us to be able to work virtually as well.
Yeah, it's great. You can do lots of stuff on Zoom. And what's C-suite? Is that like is it Oracle?
When I say C-suite, I'm talking about a persona or a person in a position of leadership. Typically, they can be the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, COO, Chief Operations Officer, or any of those senior leaders that ultimately feel the pain and the decision maker to maybe bring a person like the drop-in CEO in. So VPs of operations, VPs of quality. My sweet spot is really in manufacturing, and my background's in quality and operational excellence. But all along the way, you still also need to develop leadership skills, either with that C-suite leader to operate differently or elevate the capability of their people. So C-suite, decision makers, and the people feeling the pain.
Gotcha, all the C people. And what are some of the things that you are seeing as like patterns that are problems that are happening for these people in their businesses?
Yeah, so a couple things real quick. First of all, sometimes they wait too long because they have a lot of pride and they know they've been successful in the past, and they wait too long to bring in external help because they've been successful in the past and they think they can get through anything, but they don't necessarily have the courage to help. So I caution them, if you're starting to feel uneasy and you're starting to firefight, don't wait too long, because firefighting is not sustainable. That's one trend that I am seeing. Another trend that I'm seeing is, being able to move from a mom and pop mentality as you're scaling and growing. It may have helped you in the beginning, but just realize when you get to a critical juncture, the business is booming, you're sustainable. Look at your people and the talents they have. If you grew 10x, do they have the talents they need? So you might want to also inventory the essential skills of your people, because maybe you need to surround them with other people, leverage their legacy. Don't get rid of them because they've been very critical to your business. But we need to think in terms of people development, unleashing potential, or evolving them to where they need to perform in the future. If you don't, you're going to crash and burn as you scale.
Yeah, that's a really important thing you said. I've spoken with really successful people, and the things that have got them to where they're at sometimes are not enough, and they're starting to getting panic a little bit, and so they kind of double down. We'll just keep doing this because this worked for me, and then things change, and you've got to have the humility to be able to ask for help, and always just understand that things change, and you've got to be open, and it's hard to in the organisation for people sometimes to speak up and get things changed. You've got to be able to have an open organisation as well.
And that happens to be the name of my next book, but I talk about it. I say, stop chasing results and start pursuing peace of mind. It's the new CEO Playbook, because the other one isn't going to serve you anymore.
Oh, absolutely. Stop chasing results. And it's like when when I try to play golf, and I can't, but whenever I try to hit the ball, I do not hit it. And whenever I just kind of get back to the basics and just think about that, then it seems to work a bit better. Wonderful. And you've got a podcast as well, which is called The Drop-In CEO. And if you want to have a chat to Deborah, that's probably the best thing to do. Start listening to the podcast, and there's all sorts of good stuff on there, and you'll start to really get inside Deborah's head. And if you want to reach out to Deborah, you're open to booking. People can book a call on that button there, can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can have a conversation with me. It's really about building a relationship and just getting to know each other. And it's not about the business transaction. Let's get to know each other. And you never know, maybe I know somebody that might be helpful for you. I just want to get to know people and see how I can support them. So yeah, dropinceo.com website is the best place to reach me. Go to my contact page or push the button, and let's just get to know each other.
Sounds good. Yeah, there's a lot to learn before we do business, and have a chat first, and also listen to the podcast. Thank you very much, Deborah Coviello.
Thanks.
Is it Coviello or Coviello?
Coviello.
Coviello. Okay. All right. Let's pop over the pond there, Ruth. Now, Ruth, tell us about what you've been up to, Ruth Van Vierzen, not Van Verizon.
Nope, Van Vierzen.
And you do a similar thing in terms of talking to the same types of people. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I primarily serve, I work with C-suite executives, mainly in B2B companies. I focus on fractional sales and marketing. I typically start on the sales side, but inevitably, because sales and marketing are so interconnected and so interdependent, my work ends up going into the marketing side of things as well. So when I do fractional sales for companies, it's on an as needed, when needed basis. So very flexible, particularly for small and medium companies that may not have the in-house resources, the in-house skills to fix some of their biggest sales challenges that are costing them revenue. So I come in, work on a very flexible basis, and fill in those sales and leadership gaps that just to put systems in place for them that will serve the company for the future.
This is amazing. And I love the fractional stuff. It's so flexible for people that are at a certain point with their business, where they're growing, but they're not quite enough to have like an entire department. And
Exactly.
a lot of people have the sales department. It just gets really messy really fast if you don't know what you're doing. And what are some of the things that you can come in and do and put in place? Do you want to tell us about that, Ruth?
Yeah, for sure. So my services, they focus on three key areas. So what I'll do is I'll kind of do an assessment of what do they have right now, where are the gaps, and typically a company may have some tech gaps. So they may have a CRM, for example, but they're not utilizing it, or their sales reps aren't utilizing it. So we'll make sure that they're maximizing all the benefits of that. Then we look at, what are the processes that they have in place? Are there gaps in their processes? Do they even have any sales processes for prospecting, for follow-up, for how sales meetings are done with prospects, so that all of the sales reps are getting on the same page? And then then the third area I look at is helping a company maximize their sales talent ROI. And you'd be amazed how many companies actually have sales reps who are costing them money, and they're not actually selling enough to cover their salary. It's quite a problem actually in companies, and I often talk with my C-suite clients about what are the risk factors in your sales department, and a big risk factor is that they may have 3, 4, 5. Let's say they have 5 sales reps, but only 1 or 2 of the sales reps are actually generating most of the revenue for the company. So the other 3 are actually just costing the money. So it's looking at those 3 areas: the sales, talent, process, and tech, and how can we fix their current problems, but also help to improve in those 3 areas to help create more predictable revenue for the company.
So you're a little bit like Alec Baldwin from Mitch and Murray in Glengarry Glen Ross.
I'm embarrassed to say I haven't watched that movie.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, the thing is having sales reps that are not actually producing, and this is a tough one because sales is different. It's got to be it's the pointy end of the spear, and it's the point where you've got to be able to produce, and it's a tough one because sometimes you've got people that you've known in these positions for a long period of time. And you can get into a position where it's a real difficult decision because you're going to have to change things up, and so it's best to not let it get off the rails. And there is a lot of processes involved, and it's easily fixable, though, isn't it, Ruth?
It is quite often. I work with companies where they quite often don't have a sales manager in place. So historically, the founders and owners have been doing sales and trying to manage sales, but it's taking them away from their core expertise. Like, let's say they're a manufacturer and they really just want to focus on, manufacturing their product. They're engineers. That's what they love to do. So they're kind of half-heartedly managing the sales team. And they've been, and Deb, you alluded to this earlier, they have been successful working, with the owner doing sales, kind of letting the sales reps do their own thing, but they're realizing it's not serving them anymore. They can't achieve their growth strategies. But they don't necessarily have the time or the know-how to implement those processes. And you're right. Like, it's not that it's really complicated, but someone needs to come in who knows how to bring it all together.
Externally
and
as well.
Yeah, and implement it. And that's the advantage of a fractional expert as well. I come in with some objectivity. And in truth, there are times when I have worked with my clients to, unfortunately, sometimes there are some sales reps who do need to be let go because, for a whole variety of reasons. So as a fractional salesperson, I have that kind of outside objectivity that I can help them kind of navigate that process. It doesn't happen all the time.
Blame it on Ruth.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm okay with that. It's just part and parcel of the work that I do. But it's just one of the realities.
Excellent. Well, very interesting. And what types of businesses do you work with, do you find?
Just over time, I've just kind of ended up working more in the industrial manufacturing sector, more because I started and then got referrals. I'm not niche specific, but I do prefer B2B. And I am, again, I mean, if a company came to me who wasn't industrial, I would definitely work with them if there was a good fit.
Can you give me some examples of the types of businesses, just so I can understand the types of businesses that you work with? Like, you don't exclusively work with this type, but some examples that I could just get my head around.
Sure. So, for example, I've worked with a beverage manufacturer. I've worked with companies that manufacture conveyors. I've worked with companies that do equipment rental. So, and like in the construction industry. So again, more on the industrial side of things.
Yeah.
I do like doing. I like working with clients where they have more tangible products. I've done SaaS in the past. I just don't enjoy it as much. I just really like more of the tangible
SaaS is it's so hard because you've got to spend weeks explaining what the product does, whereas with a physical product you can go, this will do this. Do you want it? Yeah,
exactly.
Excellent. Well, that's very interesting. And if you're out there and your sales team is a bit hodgepodge and you're half doing it and you don't really know what you're doing, there is so much you can do. And Ruth is very well practiced in getting all of the processes, systems, getting the right people in there, and it is absolutely a must. And you know, if your business needs it, you know it, and so you do need to speak to somebody. The details are in the show notes if you want to get in touch with Ruth or any of our guests. And do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Me in particular?
Yeah.
Well, I did a lunch and learn last week focusing on helping business owners develop and really dial in on their ideal client profile. I'm taking that content and actually turning it into a free on-demand webinar that's going to be on my website very soon. So people can just keep their eye out for that. It's really good content. That came out of a sales survey, a B2B state of sales survey I did at the beginning of the year. And what owners were telling me in the survey was that they were really struggling with dialing in on what is their ICP and how do they really figure that out. And that's kind of that's the basis, right? If you've got that, then that helps everything else in your sales and marketing.
Excellent. And you sound like you're a Canuck. Whereabouts are you based?
Do I sound Canadian? I'm in Northern Ontario, Canada.
Canada, there you go. But you didn't say A, so it was hard for me to pick.
I drop a lot of A-bombs, so I'm surprised I didn't say it at least once.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much. It was a very interesting, wonderful guests, and if you want to get in touch with them, please do so. All the links are in the show notes. Don't forget Josh's code of, what was it? Podcast 30?
Podcast 30.
Podcast 30 if you want to get a discount on some of the things he's offered. And also thank you, Deborah, and guests for watching, and listeners. All right, I'm going to go. I need a coffee. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you next time, everyone. Ciao.